Welcome to a special edition of the WT Sports Network. I'm your host, Cale Steed, representing the Lone Star Conference, and thank you for joining us for Buffalo Week. Courtney Lee has made the move from player to coach after a 4-year career on the Lady Buff basketball team. Now she has moved into a full-time role as the Director of Student Athlete Services. We asked Courtney, how does WT student athletes get involved with local community?
For the most part, we're able to make ourselves available because here in Canyon or in Amarillo, we're the only main big college campus. And so a lot of people are already very involved with our athletic program. And so there are schools, hospitals, whatever the case may be, they always want athletes to come and just get involved. And what is great is that our athletes love doing it. And we normally try to find things that will really be helpful towards the athlete or something that the athlete really cares about. That way, that's what really pushes them to wanting to help and engage in the community. It's very important. First of all, I mean, both of them are extremely important. As an athlete, your main focus is going to be probably to come in, play the sport that you're brought here to play the sport that you love. But at the same time, you have to always keep in mind that you have to have a plan B, just in case, because we have a lot of athletes that come through, and these are top-notch athletes that want to try to make it to the next level. Well, what happens if you don't get there? Well, you have to have something to fall back on. And so if you're able to balance both of them while you're here in college and use the traits that you do have in athletics, because you're going to be motivated to go 100% in your sport. If you can tie that over into your academics, that's going to help you succeed just as much academically as you will athletically. And so I think that they're both very important to being successful and to make it to your next step after college life. Now I was already working here in administration partially with our SAC group. And so I'm still continuing with SAC. And then on top of that, I'm helping with community service with all teams. A lot of our teams do a really good job with already doing their own separate community service, but just in case there's something that they can't do, or like the coaches don't have time to schedule, then I'm there to help them with that. And so I help with getting all of our athletes involved in community service. And then my biggest focus, though, is through academics. I help with monitoring all teams, all players, making sure that they're going to class like they're supposed to. If they are at risk in some type of class, I try to get with them pretty early, pretty quick, with monitoring extra study halls on the side of what they're already doing with their teams. And I'm just trying to keep everything going and just staying on top of things through academics and community engagement stuff. When you come here to WT, you're expecting greatness. They expect greatness from every single student athlete. And so for me, WT just alone taught me to be more competitive, taught me to have no excuses with anything. I've been through sicknesses, through injuries. With basketball, it's like a 5 to 6 month sport long. And so I think with that, that's helped me. I've added so many traits to what I was already doing before I came to college. And just being within the basketball program and them pushing me to above and beyond my limits, that's what's helped me to get to this point to where I kind of carry the same traits. I want to be the best at what I'm doing right now, and I always want to constantly get better. I want to compete with any other director, student athlete, service person that there is out there. And I just don't want to use any excuses. So just for me, WT is tied into it, and then LSC is great because everyone's so competitive. Each team is just very competitive, and I think it was just an overall fun experience because I went from a student athlete to a coach to now an administrator. And it's amazing to see just how competitive every school is, but just at the same time how together we are also as a conference. With WT, I think it's great what Michael McGrew's trying to build here. And then on top of that, President O'Brien is on top of what we're trying to do. And so we're just seeing all the new facilities being built. And then that's even including the athletic center that we're building here at WT. I think that's going to push us a lot to be great as just an institution alone. with new incoming student athletes and just with the community in general. And then on top of that, with the LSC, I think with what Stan's trying to do with the new commitment to marketing, I think after having the LSC Festival, if we can continue to do things like that, I think that's going to make us the premier conference in Division II. So I think that we have a lot. We have a lot that's going on now, and that if we just continue to market the way that we have been just this year so far, I think that we're going to have a pretty promising future.
Thanks, Courtney. This ends our first episode for Buffalo Week. Check back tomorrow as we speak with assistant volleyball coach Sarah Carthel. For the Lone Star Conference, I'm your host, Cale Steed.